What force sensitivity is. Force sensitivity refers to a being's natural ability to feel and connect with the force, the energy field created by all living things that binds the galaxy together. While all living beings are connected to the force to some degree, only a small fraction can sense it in a way that grants them heightened awareness, intuition, or even supernatural abilities. This sensitivity is most often measured by the presence of midichlorians, microscopic life forms that live symbiotically within living cells. The higher the midichlorian count, the stronger a being's potential connection to the force. However, raw potential alone doesn't guarantee power. Training, discipline, and the individual's choices shape how that potential manifests. Force sensitivity exists on a wide spectrum. At one end are beings with no perceivable ability to interact with the force beyond instinct. At the other end are near-mythical figures who channel the force so completely that they can reshape reality itself. Most force-sensitive individuals fall somewhere between these two extremes, with levels of connection ranging from faint intuition to galaxy-shaking mastery. This spectrum is not strictly linear, but it helps explain why some beings, like the average citizen of the galaxy, live their entire lives unaware of the Force, while others, like Anakin Skywalker or Yoda, become legends whose destinies alter the fate of the galaxy. Non-sensitive/low sensitivity. The vast majority of beings in the galaxy fall into this category. These individuals are connected to the Force in the sense that all living things are, but they lack the heightened perception or control that Force sensitives possess. For them, the Force is invisible and intangible, influencing their lives in ways they cannot consciously perceive. Non-sensitives may experience what seems like luck, intuition, or a strong gut feeling, but these moments are often just the subtle background presence of the Force touching all living beings. They cannot wield powers like telekinesis, mind tricks, or enhanced reflexes, abilities that require a more direct connection. Most citizens of the Republic, as well as soldiers, smugglers, and politicians, fall into this level. Characters like Han Solo or Jango Fett are examples of individuals with no measurable sensitivity to the Force, yet they thrive through skill, training, and sheer willpower. Importantly, their lack of sensitivity doesn't make them insignificant. Non-sensitives often shape galactic history just as much as Force users. Sometimes even low sensitivity manifests in subtle ways. A pilot might have slightly better instincts in battle, or a diplomat might be unusually persuasive. These cases are rare, and often the person doesn't even realize that their gifts are rooted in a faint echo of the Force. Without proper training, such individuals remain unaware of their potential, living as ordinary beings. In short, low or non-sensitive beings form the baseline of the galaxy, aware of the Force only as myth, faith, or philosophy, but never as something they can truly touch. Minor sensitivity. This level represents beings who have just enough connection to the Force to sense it in subtle ways, but not enough to wield it with any real control. These individuals are rare compared to the general population, but far more common than full-fledged Jedi-level sensitives. People in this tier may experience occasional visions, uncanny danger sense, or dreams that come true in small ways. They might feel a pull towards certain decisions, or possess reflexes that seem sharper than normal. These traits can make them gifted pilots, warriors, or leaders, even if they never understand that the Force is guiding them. Some Force-sensitive cults or traditions in the galaxy, such as the followers of the Force on Jedha, included individuals of this level. While they revered the Force and felt its presence, they lacked the innate strength to move objects, influence minds, or perform supernatural feats. In some cases, they could meditate deeply enough to catch glimpses of the future, but these insights were fleeting and unreliable. Without training, minor sensitives rarely progress beyond instinctive feelings. However, with proper guidance, some can unlock limited Force abilities, small bursts of telekinesis, heightened perception, or rudimentary healing. Still, most Jedi recruiters would consider them too weak to train, since their potential would never allow them to keep pace with full initiates. Legends often place certain characters here, beings who are Force-touched but not Force users in the traditional sense. Their stories remind us that sensitivity is a spectrum, and not all who feel the Force are destined to become Jedi or Sith. Trained adepts. At this stage, beings possess enough sensitivity to actively manipulate the Force once they've received training. On their own, their powers might be limited to fleeting instincts or bursts of strength, but with proper guidance, they can begin developing genuine Force abilities. This tier includes Jedi younglings and Padawans, as well as members of minor Force traditions across the galaxy. They can enhance reflexes beyond natural limits, lift or move small objects with concentration, extend their senses to detect danger or the presence of others, and perform simple abilities like Force push, pull, or jump. The key distinction is control. While their power is far from mastery, trained adepts understand the Force as something they can summon deliberately rather than relying solely on instinct. This makes them dangerous opponents compared to ordinary beings, even if they lack the experience of seasoned warriors. For Jedi and Sith alike, this stage is transitional. Adepts are apprentices still shaping their abilities under guidance. Many never progress beyond this level due to limited potential or abandoning training. Outside the Jedi Order, some adepts trained in smaller cults or sects can perform rituals, sense disturbances, or wield niche powers, demonstrating that even outside mainstream training, Force sensitivity can make individuals influential. Trained adepts mark the threshold where Force sensitivity becomes undeniable. They are no longer mere Force-touched individuals, but true practitioners on the path to greatness. Jedi Knights and Sith apprentices. This tier represents individuals who have completed formal training and reached a level where their Force abilities are reliable, refined, and deadly in battle. Jedi Knights have completed years of training as Padawans, passed the trials, and can perform a full range of abilities, including telekinesis, mind tricks, enhanced reflexes, advanced lightsaber combat, and even battlefield precognition. Their connection to the Force grants them awareness far beyond normal beings, allowing them to react instinctively to threats before they occur. Sith apprentices, trained under a Sith Lord, occupy the same tier but focus on aggression and domination. They wield powers like Force Lightning, Choke, and overwhelming telekinetic attacks designed to overpower opponents. While still under the authority of their masters, their abilities often rival or surpass those of Jedi Knights. At this stage, Force sensitivity translates into independence and self-mastery. These individuals can engage multiple enemies and emerge victorious, sense disturbances across vast distances, resist mental influence, and shape events around them. They are fully realized Force users capable of influencing galactic affairs through their strength and training. Examples include Obi-Wan Kenobi during the early Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano at the end of her Padawan training, and Darth Maul as Sidious's apprentice. They are powerful and respected, yet still have room to grow into true masters. High-tier masters. At this level, a Force sensitive has gone far beyond the fundamentals of Jedi knighthood or Sith apprenticeship. These individuals not only use the Force, but embody mastery of it in nearly every aspect of their lives. Jedi masters such as Yoda, Mace Windu, and Obi-Wan Kenobi in his later years demonstrate complete control over lightsaber combat, honed precognition that borders on omniscience, and the ability to influence events across the galaxy. Their connection to the Force emphasizes harmony, discipline, and clarity of mind, allowing them to resist the dark side while guiding generations of Jedi. On the Sith side, figures like Count Dooku, Darth Maul at his peak, and Darth Vader mature into this tier by focusing on domination, destructive power, and emotional intensity. A high-tier Sith Lord can unleash devastating Force lightning, crush vehicles with sheer will, and bend weaker minds with terrifying ease. Their command of the dark side grants them destructive capabilities that rival entire armies. What separates high-tier masters from knights or apprentices is consistency and depth. They seamlessly integrate the Force into every action. Their lightsaber forms become extensions of their will. Force pushes can neutralize squads instantly, and their insight into people and events allows them to strategically shape outcomes across the galaxy. Examples of high-tier masters include Yoda, the embodiment of wisdom and agility; Mace Windu, whose Vapad form channels the dark side without succumbing to it; Darth Vader, whose sheer presence and raw power overwhelm enemies; and Count Dooku, elegant and unmatched in lightsaber dueling. Legendary Force wielders. Legendary Force wielders are individuals whose connection to the Force surpasses even that of high-tier masters. Their abilities are so extraordinary that they can alter the course of galactic history almost single-handedly. These beings are rare and often define entire eras through their power and influence, reshaping the balance between light and dark. Anakin Skywalker, the prophesied Chosen One, exemplifies this tier. His midichlorian count was higher than any known being, surpassing even Yoda. From his earliest years, Anakin displayed reflexes far beyond other Jedi, unparalleled instincts as a pilot, and a raw intensity in using the Force. Even without complete training, he could outmatch seasoned opponents. Though his fall to the dark side limited his potential as Darth Vader, he remained one of the most formidable Force users of his era. Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, represents another legendary figure, combining immense Force power with unparalleled cunning and manipulation. His mastery of Force lightning, precognition, and political maneuvering allowed him to orchestrate the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire, making him a threat that even Jedi masters like Yoda struggled to confront. Luke Skywalker also belongs in this category. Despite beginning his training late, his natural affinity for the Force and rapid growth allowed him to perform feats unmatched by most others. He resisted the Emperor, redeemed Darth Vader, and became a beacon of hope for the galaxy, showing that his sensitivity transcended mere skill. Legends further expands this tier with figures such as Darth Nihilus, capable of consuming entire planets, and Exar Kun, whose mastery nearly destroyed the Jedi Order. Legendary Force wielders combine extraordinary power with a commanding will, making them more than warriors. They become central figures whose actions shape the destiny of the galaxy. Mythic/prophetic tier. The Mythic or prophetic tier represents beings whose connection to the Force goes beyond even legendary Force wielders. These individuals are not simply powerful, they embody or channel the Force itself on a cosmic scale. Their existence blurs the line between mortal and divine, making them more like living manifestations of the Force than ordinary beings. The most famous examples are the ones of Mortis, the father, the daughter, and the son. Introduced in the Clone Wars, these beings personify the Force itself. The father represents balance, the daughter embodies the light side, and the son represents the dark side. Together, they govern the flow of the Force in the galaxy. Even Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, struggled against their overwhelming power. Their abilities far exceed telekinesis or lightsaber combat. They can warp reality, create visions, and even manipulate life and death. Abeloth from Legends is another example. Once a servant of the Ones, she drank from the font of power and bathed in the pool of knowledge, transforming into a chaotic, godlike being. Her power was so vast that containing her influence required the combined efforts of Jedi, Sith, and other ancient entities. Mythic tier beings exist outside the normal progression of Force sensitivity. They are not trained or disciplined in the conventional sense. Their power is innate and absolute. Their mere presence bends reality, and their actions can reshape galactic history. Unlike legendary wielders such as Sidious or Luke, they are not simply stronger Force users, they are avatars of the Force itself, cosmic archetypes that demonstrate the ultimate potential and danger of the Force.